We are coming out of executive session. May I have a motion to come out of executive session?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's 7:33. Any updates to be read into the record? Council? No updates? Okay, great. Good evening and welcome to the Township Committee meeting of January 14th, 2025. We had an executive session and we are now reconvening. Ms. Brake, please call the roll.
Committeeman Britting.
Here.
Committeewoman Hand.
Here.
Committeeman Lapani.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Payne.
Here.
Administrator Ferrera.
Here.
Attorney Willard.
Here.
I'm here too.
Mayor's here.
You're on there.
Just
It's the guy in the big chair. I don't know.
please join me in a salute to the flag and remain standing for a moment of silence in honor of President Carter. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Like the Girl Scouts pacing us. If you could remain standing, please. Just a comment here on President Carter's passing. On December 29th, President Jimmy Carter passed away. I think it's James Earl Carter. He was 100 years old and will be remembered for his tireless efforts to advance global peace, promote social justice, and improve the lives of underserved communities. In 1982, he established the Carter Center to promote and expand human rights, which earned him a Nobel Peace Prize in 2002. President Carter was active in many causes and is especially known for his work with the Carter Work Project for Habitat for Humanity. Every year, for 35 years, Jimmy and Rosalind Carter donated a week of their time to building and improving homes. Since it started, the Carter Work Project has built 4,447 homes in 14 countries with over 108,000 volunteers. So please join me in a moment of silence as we remember the life and legacy of President Jimmy Carter, and also take some time out to send our prayers out to California, where thousands of people have lost everything in the fires. Thank you. First on the agenda is approval of minutes. May I have a motion to approve the regular minutes of December 10th, 2024?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Britting.
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand.
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne.
Yes.
Mayor Ticcarelli.
Yes. Let's have reports from committee liaisons and starting with Committeeman Britting.
All right, thank you, sir. So first we'll start with economic and business development. So first we'll start with Pratt Personal Training. The HBA held a ribbon cutting ceremony to celebrate the grand opening of the new Pratt Personal Training facility located on 706 Route 206. Pratt is personal training in a small group. They provide every member with a fully custom exercise plan. It's not a one-size-fits-all group classes. It's truly personal training. So if you have the opportunity, visit Pratt Training. NJEBDA meetings. So 30-minute in-person meetings are scheduled for January 22nd between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. to sit down with Kathy Guzman from the New Jersey Economic and Business Development Authority. These meetings will assist Hillsborough businesses in taking advantage of available grant funding. That's, I think, a great service that the township provides. Children's Week. The HBA is excited to celebrate and promote services, activities, and businesses geared towards children. This promotional program will run from January 27th to January 31st. Please contact the Economic and Business Development Office for more information. All right, next we'll go to recreation. Get ready to spring into fun with exciting recreation programming from sports and fitness, classes that are STEM related, art and theater classes. There's something for everyone to enjoy. They have such an eclectic opportunities for the kids. Join and make new friends, learn new skills, and create unforgettable memories this season. Look for the spring guide and registration link in tomorrow's e-news or in the Recreation Department website. Social services. So first we'll start with gratitude there. So the Social Services Department is recognizing the following for their recent donations to the Community Assistance Network, also known as CAN. So first is the Mavericks Fast Pitch. softball team. They donated 95 assorted pies to the can, which is fantastic. Cub Scout Pack 89 for their donation of much-needed socks and underwear for the holiday gift distribution. Sunnymead and Woods Elementary Schools for their cereal box domino challenge, in which 200 boxes of assorted cereals were donated to CAN. So please go onto the website as well, to the Community Assistance Network, to take a look at that and see how and when what you can donate, because certain times of the year, some very specific items that are very important for people who need a little something extra. So please consider donating. Informational session. So Rutgers Behavioral Health Comprehensive Services on Aging is presenting an informational session on dealing with memory loss and mental health care for the elderly on Thursday, January 30th from 10:30 in the morning to 11:30 in the morning in the side multi-purpose room right there. Please register with Social Services Department. Next, we will go to the tax assessor's office. So the tax assessor's 2025 tax list will be finalized on February 18, 25, and available for viewing on the assessor's webpage on January 31st, 2020. So it'll start on the 31st of January, and then it'll be finalized on February 18th. All right, so the Hillsborough Leadership Program. So as a part of our Hillsborough Leadership Program, which is the HLP, one of the teams is hosting a used crayon drive. The Crayon Initiative takes used crayons and brings new life to them by turning them into brand new crayons for children in hospitals. That's a great idea. The collection box is located outside the library entrance in the municipal building now through Valentine's Day, which is February 14th. Also my grandfather's birthday. Hillsborough Millstone Municipal Alliance. The mission of the Hillsborough Millstone Municipal Alliance, also known as Borough Aware, is to change lives and save lives by empowering our community to manage and deter substance abuse and related issues through education, awareness, research deployment, and advocacy. So I ask you all to please stay tuned this year for upcoming events from the Alliance. It's a really great group of people that really serve a common purpose. So that's all for me, sir.
Thank you, Committeeman Britting. Next up is Committeewoman Hand.
All right, thank you, Mayor. First of all, I would like to echo the comments about our the fires in LA, not only the victims, but all of the brave firefighters who are risking their lives every moment to help save people and property. So thank you to them. Also wanting to celebrate, so over the weekend, I got to speak with several residents and some of the themes that they were talking about. One was around the Weston Road denial by the planning board. So the Hearthstone group is extremely excited. This is a monumental step forward, I think, for the town. Also, with Street Cop, I know that we did receive several emails from folks. There was a Hillsborough officer that had gone through that training. I know there was retraining provided, so hoping that maybe in your update, Deputy Mayor, if you could address some of that. So that was another topic. Another was, of course, access to the package earlier. I know the one this week was about 157 pages. I had the pleasure of reading it over the weekend while residents got it at about 4:30. I don't know what time it was today. So again, just advocating for earlier access for residents to be able to look at the information. Additionally, there are updates regarding dog license renewal. So moving on to that, renewals were emailed to residents. I know I got mine. There's also some snail mail if they don't have your email. Dog licenses are due by February 28th and a $5 late fee if that doesn't happen. Also, Radon Action Month. So radon, we've talked about this. I feel like it was yesterday. But it is colorless, odorless, and it's a radioactive gas that it's very dangerous, obviously. It's the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States. So there are free tests. So at the health department, you can go and pick that up. And last but not least, the rabies vaccination clinic. So it had been rescheduled due to weather, so it will be occurring on the 25th from 10 to noon. The clinic is held at the Public Works Department at 21 East Mountain Road. That's it. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you, Committeewoman Hand. Next is Committeeman Lapani.
Or Clerk Lapani, depending on what day it was.
Clerk Lapani.
Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. From the building department, for safety reasons, building inspectors can't inspect an area covered in snow. So please be advised if there's snow in the area that is to be inspected, please make sure it's either cleaned off or have it rescheduled. From the engineering department, advises that the use of, we say this every year, sump pumps may be necessary during rainy and wet seasons. However, the piping must be properly discharged. If the discharge causes flooding or icing, it could be unsafe, and residents may be asked to relocate the sump pump line. Acceptable discharges to the shoulder of the roadway, also known as the gutter. So just be cognizant of during the winter where your sump pump is pumping. The Finance Department is in the process of closing the 2024 year in our accounting system and opening 2025. The temporary budget is now loaded and available for departments to use. Also, auditors began their work on the Township's annual financial statement, otherwise known as the AFS. We are on track to have our AFS done in a timely manner this year, typically due by January 31st. Planning and zoning, the master plan information session is now available for viewing. The mayor, then deputy mayor, was a big part of that. For more information on how to access, please visit the Hillsborough Township website, Engage Hillsborough, see tomorrow's e-news or Township's Facebook page. The Township Public Works, the committee is giving the thumbs up, if you didn't notice, to our Public Works Department in their creative use of equipment and signage to create the holiday display at the Public Works this year. Dan, Jeff, Blair, and the gang did a great job utilizing those deer signs and a Santa sleigh to make it really, really cool. In fact, I heard that there are some other townships that emailed them in envy and are asking permission to copy them next year. Also, we are in the middle of our winter season. Please follow the parking ordinances during snowstorms, i.e. parking on streets that need to be clear so that the plows can complete their tasks. And from someone who's spent about 40 years plowing snow, it's much easier to get the car out of a area than to have it piled by a bunch of snow around your wheels. So please be cognizant of moving the cars to where they should be, and keep a safe distance between you and the plow trucks when they're in service. And lastly, the MUA, Municipal Utilities Authority, has relocated. They're now located at 302 Town Center Drive, which is a little complex behind the car wash between Burger King and Town Center Dental. The phone number and mailing address, though, do remain the same. And that's it, Mayor.
Thank you, Committeeman. Next, Deputy Mayor Payne.
Thank you. As you're making commitments to start your new year off on the right foot, take into consideration ways to incorporate sustainability into your daily life. So consider paper billing, switch from plastic to reusable water bottles. Ta-da! Use machine washable cleaning cloths, and you can also see more tips on the Sustainable Hillsborough page on our Township website. The shared municipal courts of Hillsborough, Manville, Montgomery, and Branchburg are open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Although the office closes at 4, staff will continue to answer phone calls until 4:30. For inquiries received after hours, please leave a message at 908-369-3532, and your call will be promptly returned on the next business day. For the police, I'll address Committeewoman Hand's Street Smart schooling. So as you know, all of our police training is very heavily monitored by the government. Street Smart is the name, right? Street Cop, thank you. Street Cop is one of those that was designated as required training by our state AG at the time. So nothing really to comment beyond it was a law. So, in light of the recent snowstorms, the Hillsborough Police would like to share the following reminders. Township Code Chapter 143-21 prohibits parking on snow-covered roads. There will be more on this with the DPW update that Deputy Mayor Ciccarelli is sharing. NJSA 39:4-77.1, you did this to me last year too, by the way, requires all snow and ice to be cleared from the vehicle before driving. Flying ice and snow can damage other vehicles and potentially create visibility problems for other drivers. Snow should not be shoveled, thrown, or deposited into the roadway from sidewalks and driveways as per Township Code Chapter 197-2. When clearing sidewalks and driveways, please pile snow on the side of the driveway. Do not throw it into the street. And lastly, the National Fire Protection Association reports that more than a third of all Christmas tree fires occur in January. As live trees dry out, there's an increased risk of fire. Hillsborough residents are encouraged to dispose of their live Christmas trees as soon as possible. And to assist you with that, the Somerset County Parks Commission is offering a free Christmas tree recycling program through January 31st, and you can find information for that on their website. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I have a couple of remarks to make. January is Muslim American Heritage Month, in which we recognize and celebrate the profound impact Muslim Americans have had on America's culture, economy, and communities. The Muslim American Heritage Month celebration is being held in the library on starting at 4 p.m. on Friday, this Friday, January 17th, 2025. So if you're interested, please stop by. Robo Raiders kickoff on January 4th. I dropped by the Robo Raiders kickoff meeting for 2025. And while there, I met with various team members, their mentors, their parents, the whole group, and shared some encouraging remarks to inspire them for their upcoming season. I continue to be amazed by the combination of technical skills, the social elements to this group, the leadership that they exhibit, and teamwork. So the Robo Raiders has been fun. I've been following them for years, and so we wish them well in this season. Weston Road Warehouse, as you may have heard, the Planning Board has denied the Weston Road Warehouse application. When the board looked at the totality of that application and considered all the testimony, application materials, conclusions, recommendations of the reports of our board professionals, and focused on those three areas, 2.5 years of testimony, by the way, plus the news that the building no longer had a tenant and the application was going to be a spec warehouse, we were confident that we had all the information necessary to make the right decision, and there was a motion to deny, which was unanimously passed. There'll be more information in the e-statement tomorrow about that on the Hillsborough Township website and the mayor's e-news. The township has a new web address by changing to a .gov, it's nj.gov. Address. We are adding trust and legitimacy to our online presence, as the .gov domain helps people easily identify the township website as an official government entity. Other reasons for the change include heightened security and cost effectiveness, because government entities can register the .gov domain at no charge. See tomorrow's press release for more information. If you're sending to old emails, it still comes to us. It's just there's a transition period here. Payment hours. Residents who wish to pay for Hillsborough Township services, including the new online permitting process, can do so in various ways. The building department accepts in-person payments for all services from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Acceptable forms of in-person payment are cash, check, or money order. The residents can take advantage of online payments for online permitting only. The recreation and finance departments and clerks also accept in-person payments between 8 and 4:30. These departments also offer online payments. Note that online payments are only available for dog licenses in the clerk's office. And also be advised that there's a service charge for any credit card payments. So we're happy to continue adding online services and payments for the convenience of residents, and we'll continue to seek ways to make those services available online as well as offline, in person. Last week, this is about school funding. Last week, I joined Superintendent Volpe, other Board of Education members, and concerned parents in representing Hillsborough Township schools before a fact-finding commission from the State Department of Education about the shortcomings of the state school aid formula and lack of transparency. Hillsborough had nearly 20 residents attend and 9 speaking spots over the 2-hour meeting. The so-called S2 school aid formula, signed by Governor Phil Murphy in 2018, has shortchanged the township's students by $7 million over the past 7 years, while other school districts in Somerset County have seen an increase in the state aid over that same period. When it was my turn to speak, I urged the department to implement a common sense, transparent, fair, and equitable school funding reform act. Despite stable student enrollment and rising costs of maintaining quality education, our community receives less financial support from the state than comparable towns. The magnitude of the cuts imposed on Hillsborough has been disproportionately greater than those experienced by many other districts. As I mentioned at that time, our students deserve an equitable access to the resources they need to succeed, and our communities deserve a funding model that reflects fairness and stability for all children in New Jersey. And that position was echoed by each of the board members, and they all addressed different aspects. So it was a pretty comprehensive presentation by Hillsborough. One of the last bit is the 56th Annual USA Archery Indoor Nationals. Olympic hopefuls are coming to Hillsborough. The 56th USA Archery Indoor Nationals will be held in Hillsborough at Iron Peak Sports and Events from February 14th to February 16th. Almost 300 archers will be competing and will be accompanied by their family and friends, and I'm very excited for Iron Peak and for Hillsborough's business community to embrace these visitors that are coming from all over the country. From a lot from the Northeast, we have Connecticut, Delaware, Ohio, people coming from New Mexico and Colorado. In fact, there's a team coming from Bangladesh, and I think it's just to participate in an Olympic type of trial. So contact Iron Peak for more information, but I was pretty excited that, they used Hillsborough. It's obviously Iron Peak, but they had to use Hillsborough and the surrounding communities to get approval from the Olympic Committee to bring it here. So I was pretty excited about that coming. So putting Hillsborough a little more on the map. Stay connected. As always, you can stay connected with all events and more via the Wednesday Mayor's e-news and Thursday's Experience Hillsborough Bulletin. Be sure to follow and like the official Hillsborough Township Facebook page, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram. Tune into the Hillsborough YouTube channel and sign up for Hillsborough alerts for traffic and emergency notifications. So that's ends there. So now we have a couple of proclamations. I'll step down to the floor and we'll recognize a couple of Girl Scouts. Okay. Still works. Because it still works. Okay, first one is going to be Nicole. I'm talking to her, one-on-one. All right. Here we go. So, Hillsborough Girl Scout Nicole Shearer has been awarded the Girl Scouts Medal of Honor. This award is given for saving life or attempting to save a life without risk to the candidate's own life. While vacationing in Costa Rica, Nicole noticed a young boy was drowning in a deep swimming pool. Nicole rescued the boy and removed him from the pool. Upon being removed from the water, the boy coughed up significant amounts of water and was then aided by adults. The Girl Scouts thereafter bestowed upon Nicole one of the highest honors in Girl Scouting. Nicole has been a member of the Girl Scouts for 6 years. She also participates in the band and choir in the 8th grade at Hillsborough Middle School. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the Mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, do hereby extend our congratulations to Nicole Shearer for saving the life of a young boy and for being a shining member in our community. Well done. Well done. We'll take some pictures. So that's not a medal, but this is. So this is presented on behalf of the Girl Scout troop. I thought they might want to come up here at some point and take some pictures, but you're welcome to this also. Do you want to say anything?
Thank you.
No? No, thank you?
It's all about action.
I can't imagine what it's like to save somebody's life, so very proud of you. So, you got enough hands?
Thank you.
Do you want to take a picture and bring your troops up, Mom and Dad and everybody?
Move the mic, John.
All right.
Get up there.
balance. You need to stay up here, right? Troop leader doesn't want to be? You got all year with this, buddy.
No,
No, he's not?
I would like to see you.
Meguna sat down. Where'd she go? Meguna.
Mike,
Megna.
go get it down.
All right. You said Megna? Yeah. Okay. Gundavabi, right? Gandavabi. Megna Gandavabi, a graduate of Hillsborough High School and a freshman at Pratt University majoring in 2D animation, was a member of Girl Scout Troop 60640 and earned her Gold Award. So, well done. The Gold Award project focused on how the allistic community has a responsibility to understand autistic peers effectively. She assembled a project team wherein autistic adolescents work with their neurotypical peers. I'll get it out. The observations were then presented to the public in a video. The project took 83 hours to complete with a team of 5 members. Meguna completed her Silver Award project focusing on the Alzheimer's community in 2019 and organized a Diwali food drive from 2020 to 2024. She was also a member of the design team for the end-of-year fundraiser for Project Graduation. She serves as an example to the youth of Hillsborough Township through her achievements, leadership, and community service. We are proud that Meguna is a member of the community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the mayor, and the township, the Hillsborough Township Committee, do hereby recognize and extend our sincere congratulations to Meguna Gandavabi for having earned her Girl Scout Gold Award, an honor for both her and for those who have guided her. We wish Meguna all the best in her future endeavors. Great.
All right.
Hold it.
Oh, yeah, thanks so much. I'd like to thank the mayor for recognizing and introducing my Gold Award project, and for the Township Committee for graciously giving me the opportunity to speak on it today. This project and its subject matter are incredibly important to me, so I hope to continue to bring awareness and acceptance for autistic adults beyond my project. As someone with many personal ties to the community, this is a population that I've observed has been misrepresented time and time again. I want to do my part in reassessing and changing societal perception of autistic adults to show that each person deserves a voice and the opportunities to grow and succeed in life. It's important as holistic individuals to be aware of the biases you may hold about those different from you, even if you were never aware of them to begin with. There are so many harmful ideas and stereotypes that we have been conditioned to believe, and it's important to dispel them to move forward to becoming a society focused on equity and inclusion. We're still a long way from disabled individuals getting the recognition they deserve, but I want to be able to do my part in this effort and hopefully encourage others to do the same. My Gold Award project gave me the opportunity to use my voice to highlight an issue so important to me, so I'd like to thank my Girl Scout leaders, past and present, all the team members that worked alongside me in my project, and the kind people I reached out to for assisting in my journey. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful night.
This concludes our proclamations and presentations. Congratulations to all our recipients, and thank you for joining us this evening. We'll take a brief pause and be back in 5.
You're back in 5. 2 and 2. Do Chuck Willard.
2 and 2.
That's a fast 5 minutes.
So say it 3 times. All right, we back on? Okay, so consent agenda. We have 15 items, 1 through 15. I guess normally we ask if there's anybody who wants to take any out of,
Mayor,
off of 1 through 15.
I would like to separate number 6, please.
Number 6, okay.
And I would like to separate 4, 7, 8, and 9.
7, 8, and 9?
4,
Yep.
7, 8, and 9. I feel like
Okay.
I'm calling bingo.
All right. So how did we do this last time? Was it a motion for all but?
Well, do we do a motion to take?
Oh,
them
motion to
separately?
take, okay, so motion to take 4, 7, 8, and 9, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9 separately.
So moved.
Second.
Do you need a roll call or
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Help me here. Do we
So let's,
do we address them or do we address the balance?
let's do all and then go back.
Okay.
All but.
So all but, so we have do we have a motion to approve all but 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Discussion from the dais. then
Discussion from the dais on those, on the all buts.
We'll get it.
Nope.
It's all good.
And then now we go to the floor.
Nothing up here? Nope. All right. Comments from the floor? Can we
You gotta move
get the
the
mic?
Yep. It's here.
It's right there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This is for resolutions of,
Somebody to move it.
1, 2, 3, 5.
10?
10,
11,
11, 12,
13,
13, 14, 15.
4, 6, 7, 8, 9.
All but.
Okay, 13 and 15, now's the time?
yes.
Now, go for it.
13, 15, you got green light.
We need cue cards. I agree. That was a
That was
lot.
warranted.
Okay, I wanted to ask about the connection between 13 and 15 on the submissions for grants. on Camplain Road. One said truck safety, one said preservation. I assume those are two separate grants, but I'm not sure. And I wondered, in similar grants, can we apply for other roads at the same time? There's been a lot of discussion of all the trucks on Homestead. Or we just try for our best shot because there's a lot of towns that want them and just go for that on Camplain.
I would defer to Anthony on the grant writing, but these are usually very specific, the grants.
Yeah, I mean, they're specific, but to your point, we try to get as many grants as possible. So we're always going to try and get as many grants, because all I can say is no. But one isn't going to impact another or any of the other grants that Tom Bellinger and the engineering department put out, unless
Okay.
Alicia has any other comments to these specific grants. I mean, each department, as part of goals and objectives, is always looking to have more grants as possible, so.
Okay, so these are separate grants for the same road, 13 and 15. Okay, thank you.
And to answer your other question, we're always looking for more grants.
Okay.
I'll just add, sometimes depends on what the copay is on the grant. Some have a pretty hefty participation, which can make it prohibitive to apply for a grant. Not in this case, though.
No, like a match.
Yeah,
Like we'll match 20% or 100% or something like that.
Any other comments from the floor? If not, we don't close, do we? We're just,
No, you vote on.
just vote.
Yes.
Yeah, just these resolutions.
Just those, sorry.
Open comment is at the very, very end.
Yeah.
We'll be quick.
All right, so now we do a roll call.
For those.
Or-
Yes.
Yes. All but.
Committeeman Britting.
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand.
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne.
Yes.
Mayor Chicarelli.
Yes. Okay. Let's take these one at a time that were taken off the agenda. So Resolution 4, resolution appointing members of the Hillsborough, to the Hillsborough Office of Emergency Management Council for 2025.
Make a motion?
So moved, or second, sorry.
Comments from the dais?
You have a question on 4?
I didn't have a question.
Oh, I thought
I
somebody...
just needed it taken separately.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
I know why, but
Yes.
that's okay.
All right. No comments, then roll call.
Comments from floor?
No.
On
Comments from the
number
floor.
4?
Thank you, sir. Any comments from the floor on resolution number 4, consent agenda item number 4? None? Okay.
Committeeman Britting.
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand.
I will abstain.
Committeeman Lapani.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne.
Yes.
Mayor Chicarelli.
Yes. Okay. Consent agenda item number 6, resolution ratifying and confirming the appointment of Troy Lapani to the Open Space Advisory Committee. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Any comments from the dais? Hearing none, roll call.
Comments from the floor.
Floor.
Sorry.
We're gonna keep you on
sorry,
track.
He's
sorry.
learning.
He's assuming you're not going to have any
First
comments on
reading,
these.
guys.
Comments from the floor. We're going to make a note here.
It's all good.
I know.
Okay, seeing none, roll call.
Committeeman Britting.
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand.
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani.
Abstain?
Deputy Mayor Payne.
Yes.
Mayor Chicarelli.
Yes.
A lot of
Okay.
family in this room.
I'm not going to miss it this time.
Too much family.
Resolution number 7, consent agenda number 7, resolution providing for the combination of certain issues of general improvement bonds, Series 2025, of the Township of Hillsborough, County of Somerset, New Jersey, into a single issue of bonds aggregating in $6,968,000 principal amount.
So moved.
Second.
Comments from the dais?
Yes.
I have one.
Oh, go ahead.
CFO, Noon, I just want to confirm that the 6968000 is the correct number. I know there was an omission of 900,000.
Yes, that's
That's-
correct.
Okay, thank you, sorry. Just making sure.
Any other comments?
So my question, so first of all, I was excited that it went from 7.876 down to, what is it now?
6968.
6968 due to a $900,000 grant from the state. So that's tremendous. And thank you to the state for that. My question is around just trying to understand. So, and I'm going to direct this to the chair. So the $540,000 from 2014 and $6,428,000 from 2018. So I see useful life of 9.5 years and 10 years. So those were, they have a useful life that is in the past, at least for part of it. So help me understand, we are refinancing this out into 2035. So we'll be paying for it for another 10 years. When the useful life of the equipment and the roads that we're paying for will be in the past. So I'm seeking to understand.
How bonds work?
Well, I'll take, well, the one we'll take,
I'll defer to,
2018 is the most recent one, right? That was work that was bonded back in 2018, but was completed over 2018, 2019, and 2020, I believe. So over those 3 years was the road bonds that we did during COVID. So those were rolled over until completion, and then at the time right after that, the interest rates were prohibitive to go to permanent financing. And it was to our best interest is to just roll them over, which we're allowed to do for, I think, up to 3 years. If I'm incorrect, correct me if I'm wrong, Alicia. The 2014 bond of $540,000 is roughly half of, I think, of what the original bond was, which was, I think it was $1.5 million, which we were paying for. And it's just our financial advisor suggested that we just roll this over, take that 540 and just roll it over into a single bond and take advantage of that as actually in the long run saved us money with the spreadsheet that they provided. And so that's why that we're putting those two together. That was, and the advice of our financial advisor, NWS, I believe is who it was.
And is that common to be able to look at the bonds like that, to combine them and to refinance? Is that a normal thing to do?
yes?
Yes, okay.
I'll just say,
And-
it depends on the situation. So we had our financial advisor look at all the options. I think we had 3 scenarios that were provided, and then they narrowed it down to 2. And then of the 2 scenarios, this was the scenario that they advised us to take and gave us the cost savings over the time as to why.
And the reason that we're doing that, because if it's a good thing to do, we probably could have done it a little earlier. Interest rates a couple years ago were lower. So why are we waiting until now?
Well, the interest rates were lower in 2017. Now we bonded in 2018 and had to do and you can't go to permanent financing until all the road work is done and completed for the complete bond, which was done not till after 2020, and the interest rates had skyrocketed at that point. So it was again to our advantage not to go into permanent financing, is to just roll over and wait and see, and take advantage of the time that we have to roll over up to 3 times and see when it would make sense.
Did you have something to add?
Go on.
It's a rolling up to 10 years.
10 years.
On notes.
I figure 3, because after then the
I
road
thought it
is,
was longer too, but
but it's okay. So we get 10 years we can roll, but we did after 3.
So I don't want to go into a full school classroom here on bonds and how they work, CFO, but could you explain how we actually make money off of bonds, please? Like how they're advantageous for us to take?
I don't really know that I can get into that much detail
Okay,
here.
fair
I'm
enough.
Yeah.
That's fine.
well, the bottom line is the process of selecting the bond was we chose which agency to go with because it would provide us the most income in the long run, right? That's the,
So we haven't done any of that yet. These
Right.
are resolutions authorizing us
To
the
do it.
first one is to combine the 2 notes, and then the next one is to actually do this and go
Yeah.
out. So we haven't, the sale is not until, I believe, the 30th, so.
right.
So
That's the model.
We're going to pay it back, right? So it's looking for the rates and stuff that are most advantageous to the town.
Yes, so it's,
Right, it's not this resolution, but it's the next one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other comments on resolution item number 7? Thank you. I got my note here. Comments from the floor.
Congratulations, you did it. I got it.
Seeing none?
Motion to approve.
We did already.
We
so
have
it's
just
just
a
a-
yeah,
roll,
sorry.
roll.
Roll call. Committeewoman Hand.
It's me first.
Brittany's first, usually.
Oh, yeah, you're, okay.
Yes.
I have an old roll call on this one.
Yes.
Sorry. Yes, okay. Committeewoman Hand.
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne.
Yes.
And Mayor Ciccarelli.
Yes. Okay. Resolution item 8, related matter. Consent agenda item 8, which is resolution determining the form and other details of the $6,968,000 general improvement bonds, Series 2025 of the Township of Hillsborough, County of Somerset, New Jersey, and providing for their sale.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Comments from the dais?
I pulled this one out just because it was connected to the other one, and I wanted to make sure that we looked at them together. This is just authorizing the actual going out to do the bid,
Right.
so, all right. No further questions.
Okay. Comments from the floor? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Committeeman Britting.
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand.
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne.
Yes.
Mayor Ciccarelli.
Yes. Okay, and the last one that was pulled aside is resolution number 9. Consent agenda item number 9, resolution establishing the annual salaries and wages of municipal employees. That's it. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, comments from the dais?
So I had questions on this. Is this a temporary salary increase?
I'm going to say no, but
What do you mean by temporary? This is essentially what establishing their wages for the year.
Yeah, just wondering, because we haven't done our budget, and we're not going to know the budget for several months. So just wondering why we would be authorizing raises for, folks. Not that they're not, well-deserved, not commenting on that at all, but just from a budget standpoint, wanting to
Well-
understand why we would authorize these now. I know some townships actually do it from a July to July, knowing that that is when they would actually know their budget and know their numbers.
So number one.
Yep, I'm sorry, and I directed to the chair.
That's okay. I'm sure other people can, and Anthony can answer too. It's hard to do a budget unless you know what your salaries are. Otherwise, you're which is one of the biggest nuts you have to do a budget, right? You need to know, your police, your salaries, your revenues, your income, then you do the budget. Without having that number, and then you do a budget, and then you say, well, we want to go back and maybe give people raises. Number one, that makes it even harder for the CFO to do double work. And number two, then you would have to retro pay them all the way back to January 1st and cover that cost, which again becomes very cumbersome. So not everybody on this list is getting a quote-unquote raise other than the cost of living. There are a few exceptions that got under the annual assessment of people that we feel probably are quote-unquote outside of competitive range that will increase as to keep and retain our employees, which we've all talked about here on the dais to a man and a woman, how valuable they are to the township. And there are some people we felt that were potentially at risk to lose because of the salary compensation they're being paid. So in an effort to keep them here, because we value their employee, we amended their salary to be more competitive with the outside world. Let's face it, everybody's poaching from everybody around because there is a lack of qualified people, as Mr. Ferrara knows. It's always a juggling act, but we did take this into consideration and be only frugal to where we felt we needed to as far as any increases that were made. And I'm confident that when we get to the budget cycle with with Alicia and the Budget Council, that we'll be able to work around this. But it's more important to keep the staff here that we need, because I don't know if, and I'm sure you're in private business, it costs you 3 and 4x to replace an employee. With the time you hire or search, hire, train, and hopefully retain, it's much more expensive than maybe that small increase that you would have had to pay to keep them here. So that's why, in my opinion, why I was in favor of doing this.
Yeah, so again, I would reiterate, I'm not talking about whether these are or not deserved. The comment is, I know I work for a commercial company. These things happen in March when we know what we made last year, and raises are actually determined on what we made and what we can afford.
But the
I
the
don't, so I'm
government-
sorry, excuse me.
The
Robert's
government doesn't
rules-
allow us to wait
Robert's
that long.
rules, excuse me.
But-
Point of order, point of order.
Well, I'm answering your
Point of
question. We don't
order.
have that
I didn't finish
time.
my question. Point of order.
Okay,
Are we using Robert's rules?
sure. Go ahead.
So
But I
any company would find out what they made and then base budgets off of that versus providing raises and then looking under the couch cushions and in the taxpayers' pockets to figure out how to fund them. So at July to July, where you wouldn't have to do retroactive, other towns do this, and I think this should be a consideration for the town. Now, I understand that these have already been put in to payroll, but this should be a point of conversation.
You done? I just want to make sure you, so the budget needs to be submitted to the state before June, July, right? Celicia, when do we need to have the budget submitted to the state?
Usually by around April or May.
Right. So, time prohibitive to do it that way? This isn't private company. I own a private company, other people, but in the government and public affairs, the rules are a little different. So if your budget is June to June, I don't know how you can do that and still put it and submit it on time. You can't. So that's why we have to do it this way. And to be honest, because we have to submit our budget before that would happen.
Just in, also, we are under 3 union contracts as well for raises, so we are working under the white collar, blue collar, and PBA, which those contracts are there anyway, so that's already taken into consideration. When you take all the contracts out of it, you're talking a small amount of people.
So it coincides with union contracts as well.
So, Chair, I would just point out that I think these raises go, cost of living, I think, was 2.5. These raises go between that and up to 25% when you look at the percents. And sometimes it may not be a high dollar, but the percentage is varied. The other comment is, I think Committeeman Lapani said that this was the largest budget item, yet we are committing to it before we do our budget. So again, I don't know that this has to be done in January. I think we talked about getting the budget done earlier this year. So again, there has to be another way, and other townships do it differently. So,
Okay,
Thank
thank you. Any other comments from the dais? We appreciate those thoughts, and maybe the Personnel Committee can consider it. Roll call, please.
Comments from the floor.
Comments from the floor.
Almost had it.
You're getting there.
you were so close.
You're doing, the first one, man, you're doing
Everyone
fine.
gets a lollipop
First one,
every
you're doing
time he
great.
misses. Yeah.
Believe me, it took me 3 last year. You're good.
None?
All right. Now, roll call. Thank you.
Committeeman Britting.
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand.
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne.
Yes.
Mayor Ciccarelli.
Yes.
It says comments from the floor.
So I
We're all over
believe
the
that
place
was
on
the
this,
last one, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I did.
No, he
Sean
did.
did it.
Just trying to help
All
my
right.
brother out.
It's the first meeting. Former mayor, don't make fun.
I had to practice one.
Right.
No public hearings. Introduction of new ordinances, 2025-01. Ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled Salary Range Ordinance, setting forth the salary ranges for the classification set forth in said ordinance. Further consideration and a public hearing will be held on February 11th, 2025. So this is just introducing this ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand?
Yes.
Committeeman LaPani?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne?
Yes.
Mayor Ciccarelli?
Yes. See, we skipped over the comments from the floor.
You don't
We're
need
none
it.
there.
You don't need it on that.
No, I already did
No,
that. That was
All right.
like an introduction.
Claims list. May I have a motion to approve the claims list 2025-01?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments from the dais? No. Any comments from the floor? It says it right here.
Good job.
No comments from the floor? Roll call, please.
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand?
Yes.
Committeeman LaPani?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne?
Yes.
Mayor Ciccarelli?
Yes. We have no new business, so we will move on to public comments for matters not on the agenda. Ms. Brake, please read the statement regarding public comment.
The Township Committee welcomes input from the public. Please state your name and address, and please spell your name for the record. You will be given 1 3-minute allotment for your comments. Please understand that this public forum is not structured as a question and answer session. Comments are to be addressed to the mayor. Again, please keep your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you.
The timer.
I do.
Okay. Anybody from the public have comments from matters not on the agenda?
It'll be, but he can flash it up. He knows to.
Yeah, hi, Doug Eden, 55 Ann Street. Last name's Eden, E-D-E-N. Yeah, I'm here tonight to talk about the Toll Brothers, the Roycebrook project, and my concern for our wells and our drinking water. Right now, I sent an email to the committee and some of the people from the health department. And I had an issue with, they're blasting right now. And as you know, I know you visited the site, and I saw somewhere where you said that they had a permit to do that. But my concerns are, and we've been coming to you with this concern right from the beginning, and going back to 1994, we're concerned about our drinking water. We're all on well water downstream from that property. Our aquifer runs right through it. And when they were talking about the Toll Brothers project, we came to you with concerns about them digging basements on the property and upsetting the shale, because the shale protects our aquifer that we drink our water from. Well, now they're drilling 30 feet down, putting charges in the ground, and they're blasting every day. Every day between 12 and 1, they blast. The blast, I'll welcome anybody to come to my house. My Christmas tree, I had Christmas ornaments falling off my Christmas tree, and I'm not exaggerating. Glasses bang together, clang together in the cabinets. It's like having an earthquake every day. So it's a significant charge. And I guess my issue is, with going back to the well water, we were concerned about them digging 10 feet into the ground to put in basements. And a few of you were here when we were talking about that, and we had professionals telling us that there was not going to be any issues. Now, on that property, they had problems with contaminants. It's been a golf course for 36-hole golf course for over 30 years. It's contaminants that they pump water from the Millstone River for over 20 years, and the Millstone River was tested and was tested positive for PFAs. I don't know if anybody's is familiar with a PFA. It's a forever chemical, carcinogen, highly cancerous, causes all kinds of problems. They've been pumping their water up into their ponds. They irrigate that property with that water for years. I'm not even going to get into all the fertilizers and the agriculture that was that was there prior to the golf course, that the farmers. But anyway, is that my time limit?
That's your time limit, yes.
My concerns are that they're drilling 30 feet into the ground,
As I'm in the
setting off
midst
a
of applying
charge. Our wells are average 100 feet down, so you're not going to tell me they're not fracturing the shale. I could feel it over 1,000 feet away from where I am, and I'm being kind. I'm concerned that they're fracturing that down where the contaminants are absolutely getting into our well water. Not only the contaminants from that, the dust that blows off the golf course, that blows toward our homes, it's in the dust, it's in the surface soils, and blasting every single day. I'm just asking, I sent an email to the township. I don't know why I get no response from anybody, ever. And I called our health department. They weren't even aware about the PFAS in the Millstone River. I'm here to ask for, we've been coming to you for years about our well water and our drinking water. The last time they were supposed to be testing this water for 30 years on a golf course on a resolution that they never did. We came since 1994. They never tested the water. They were supposed to be doing it from then. I want them to come. I need the health department to come into we had 19 homes at a baseline test back in 1996. I need those 19 homes to be retested. It's the least you can do to protect the health and well-being of our community. It's the least you can do. And I was at other meetings there and I was told, Mr. Eden, if I were you, I'd get your water tested. Well, no kidding. But what about all the other residents? What, are we supposed to wait for a health issue before somebody raises a red flag? But it's a shame that we have to keep coming up and asking for some concern, some help, because we're the public. I'm a resident. You're elected officials. If I send an email, I deserve a response. And I'm being told that I have to go through the township attorney to speak to any one of you, to send you an email. I never had a lawsuit, never had an issue, never made a threat, and I don't understand why. And I know I can't ask questions, but I want to know why. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
How much time do we really get?
3 minutes.
He went way over, but you get 3 minutes.
Okay. All right, don't start it yet, because I'm telling you who my name is and stuff.
We'll give you 3:10.
I'm Tim Baracco. I live on 3 Franklin Drive, Hillsborough, neighbor of Doug's, Tom's, and so on. I don't know if everybody does, but anyway, we're, as Doug mentioned, adjacent to the golf course. Okay, there's a history. And here, let me read this a little bit so I don't lose my train of thought. We're here to ask for help. We have great concerns about what I'm going to call a lack of environmental stewardship on the part of the Hillsborough Township officials and the Board of Health. Okay, as Doug hinted at, we've been going through 30 years. They haven't been doing the well testing they're supposed to be doing. The township attorney, the township engineer, the environmental commission said come in and retest the 19 wells. The planning board vetoed that somehow. Don't know. So catch-up testing wasn't done. We got, over the 30 years, false assurances that the wells were being monitored. And then after the 30 years was up, all of a sudden, they said, no, there's not even any kind of written outline of what testing needs to be done. Well, we turned it up out of the township archives. Township was denying that even existed. So that's where I'll go back to, we have concerns about stewardship and what's going on with the township. So then we get to the water monitoring plan that was finally implemented. As soon as it went in, they decided they needed to modify it, but no PFAS was included. No LSRP was solicited help from. We used Royce-Brooks LSRP, and it doesn't make any sense. We should have gone back to Equal Sciences, who spelled out at the beginning in 1994 a very nifty plan I shouldn't say nifty, but a very well-crafted plan geared to what's going on with the earth structures and our wells and everything else, but all that was bypassed. Let me fast forward, because I don't want you to take me off the opportunity to talk. The most provocative thing, I'm skipping over some things here, but the most provocative thing, what's turned up is that on the latest Private Well Testing Act database report that comes out, our exceedances on the grid, if you guys know what the grid is, where we sit with the golf course, the exceedances came through at 41.2% of the wells tested. Huge, almost half the wells are coming up positive for PFAs above a state tolerance, which is way too high. It's going to have to be conformed to an EPA tolerance, which is 1/3 down. I'm sorry, 1/3 as much. We're going to move down. Tolerance is going to move from a 12 to a 3 or 4. So when you do that, the 41.2% is going to go up more. We asked for some help. We directed an email to Township Administrator, the Mayor, and the Health Department to talk about some of this stuff. We get, like Doug said, we get no responses. We have nothing. We said, we're concerned about the dynamiting or whatever they're doing and what it's going to do to our well water. No question, it's going to be vertical conduits. Stuff's going to get in there. Now we know we got PFAs that's going to get in there, and it's crickets. The township is passive. Doesn't make sense. I'll end with, and I'll look to you, committee woman hand, please. I worked in corporate too. I know you have an ethics background. I'm going to read to you what I'm writing, what I wrote, where I'd like you to ask yourselves if the township needs a code of conduct and standards of integrity that holds the township officials and committee members accountable for carrying out their duties and responsibilities for the good of the residents of the township. That's the question. And further to that, to have an open, objective dialogue with residents, a two-way communication, common sense approach, not an adversarial approach. That's what we get, adversarial. Can't answer emails, go back. I could recount, I skipped over some stuff. If you give me a little more, I can go over a bunch of other stuff, environmental stuff that hasn't been done. It's just inexplicable. Remember, our community, I'm an old guy, yeah, but there's a lot of younger families. Young kids live there. This isn't right. They don't even know about these PFAS exceedances. What the township has on our website is a vintage earlier, which doesn't show any of these exceedances for our grid because that was year one and the sample size wasn't big enough. You need a sample size of 10 or more to report out on the exceedances. I found this 41.2% by going beyond what the township issued. There's a further vintage that hasn't been published, okay? So, and think of the irony too. The township has all kinds of write-ups out there. You got to be careful for PFAS. They didn't even put it in when they did the modified water monitoring plan for the golf course. They didn't even include PFAS. We asked them to include PFAS. They ignored us. What's going on? It's not good.
So while you can't ask questions, I sure can. So help me understand. So I'm going to direct this to Administrator Ferreira. I have not received these emails. This is the first I'm hearing of it. I've been on the dais for a year now, and I haven't heard from the group. So help me understand.
So this has been going on at the planning board for many, many years. The email did go out regarding the blasting, and I did send an email response back.
You saw the one for the blasting, not their
Right.
emails
So
that they're
we're-
referring to.
Yeah, so this is the email that was sent to me, and I did respond to the group. And explain.
Can I
I know, but you
respond
just
to
sent me
your
the email
response?
today. You just sent the email today. I let you speak. You sent the email today. I was in off-site meetings today, and all of you know that if there's any questions, you're supposed to put those questions to Mr. Bernstein. And we have answered, and the question's been answered, and I know Mr. Lapani's up here, and the mayor, that the answers have been back even when I was on the committee. this has been going on for a long time. So it's much more detailed than that, and our health department has been in conversation multiple times. You guys have been with the health department, and we have been advised that any other questions, because there's things going on at the planning board and a lot of things going on, that those questions should be directed to Mr. Bernstein. But the questions that I could answer, I did as quickly as I could about the blasting and that it was safe. Mr. Committeeman Lapani went out there. We asked the state for those records as well. They've been submitted. But the rest of the questions, we've been advised by counsel to work with Mr. Bernstein for those things. And Sean, if I could just let Committeeman Lapani just
Mr.
respond for a minute.
Recaro, in all due respect to all three of you, you've been in front of the planning board for 10 years. Anything that was going to be developed on that property, you were opposed of. You were opposed to the golf course existing there, and you were opposed to the new Toll Brothers project. So you've been basically, didn't want what was there, you didn't want what was proposed twice. There was 2 applications that were put prior to that you didn't want. So to give you a little history, Ms. Hand, the planning board did extend the well testing to, if I recall, 2 years after the last CO was granted for the development to protect your wells at the time of the approval of the planning board, which didn't have to happen, but we did to give you guys cover on the well testing. So we are well aware of, and have been well aware of, and none of those tests in the last 2 years, to be honest with Ms. Hand, all those results came out negative with no trace. And all those results were provided to you at the time, and you were more than, you've opened everything that was ever happened with the planning board. So to say here that there's PFAS in there or whatever, if you have new data or science, that's different, that's new. But the wells, at the homes of yours, but the wells on the site have been tested. They were retested for the 2 years during the whole application that was going on, and they will continue to be tested throughout the process of this build, plus another 2 years after the final CO is done.
Can I
What?
comment to that?
Now, as far as the blasting concern and the fact that it's going to affect your wells, there's no scientific basis to that. This is your thoughts, which may or may not be true or not, but there's no scientific fact that it's going to. It's an isolated charge, and it's being governed and by the state of New Jersey. They control the blasting. They are on site, Ms. Hand. They are on site with the seismographs, and they're allowed to project a 2.0 Richter scale reading within 500 feet of the blast. The last reading that we did, I was witness to, was 0.14 on the Richter scale, which is 10 times below the allowable. And all those blasts are operable from the state, as we had to, and we got that information from the state. So you can hear the blasts. Can you feel the rumble? Yes, I was there. I witnessed it. I went to the house, which was well over 1,000 feet away from the blast site. And by law, it only has to be noticed within 500 feet of the blast site by law, Ms. Hand, for the record. So to say that it's going to affect your wells, there's blasting that's been done in construction sites all over the state of New Jersey. It's governed by the state of New Jersey. It's not even run by Hillsborough, not our engineering department. We are there as our inspectors there to witness also. But as far as the well testing is on, and it will continue to run for 2 years after the project is done. And to say that your emails have gone unanswered, we've probably had, over the last 10 years, probably hundreds of emails from all of you about things. And don't say no, because over the past 5 years, there's hundreds of emails when the planning board was in process for this. And I know because I was on the planning board and I was also the mayor at the time. And we provide you all the information we could. And on the planning board, I was the one that made the motion to do the additional time, of the extra 2 years, which was seconded by the board, to give you guys the coverage. So we have been compassionate to try and make sure that this project and your wells are protected. But to say that, that when you send emails to us asking what are we going to do about the blasting, we can't do anything about the blasting. And we told you that, yet you still ask us, what are we going to do about the blasting? It is governed, it's legal, and it's run by the state of New Jersey. End of story. Nothing else to say.
Can I talk a little bit?
No,
Don't say that.
not yet. You had your 3 minutes. And
Yeah,
it's not
but you
usually
said a lot of
it's not usually a question and answer, but Ms. Hand asks the questions to fill her in. Mr. Vaccaro, wait a minute.
I want her to know the truth.
I'm
okay?
going to tell. Listen,
You're
I'm being.
not telling her the truth.
I told you exactly 100% of the truth.
did
Don't
not.
don't you say no, because I have nothing else to
I will
say.
stand here and
And you can pull the
cross
witness.
my heart. You're not telling the truth about the exceedances and
That's-
the parameters tested. They do not test for PFAs. You can't tell us that.
I didn't say that. I said that they
You
test.
said there's no exceedances.
They
everything's
test
fine,
for
but
what
they
they're-
didn't test
what they're-
for PFAs. So what? The point's invalid.
They are testing to what they are agreed to the test by the state of New Jersey. Okay.
Wait a minute. The
So let's
township
back up.
says test
But you were
by
saying
the
we
well
weren't testing at
and
all. You were
tolerances.
saying
Now,
we
these
weren't.
guys got a special exception?
No.
BS.
Okay, let's disagree. But you were saying we didn't do any well testing at all, and we are doing the well testing. And you were there at the planning board meeting when it happened, and it hasn't changed since.
We asked when the thing was modified, when the well testing was modified to include PFAs. We have an LSRP here, a neighbor who brought it up. It's in the minutes of the meeting at the Environmental Commission. Add PFAs. He got ignored. Now you're trying to tell us they're testing for PFAs. It's nonsense.
I said that they're testing to what the planning board agreed to, is what I said.
What the planning board agreed to.
Or actually tell the
You mean
village.
when, in 1994?
The one we just passed to get them to work. The
Yeah, but
very
how can
end,
you-
it was
How
admit.
can you agree to something that doesn't make sense? You tell the residents to test for PFAs, and now these guys don't have to test for PFAs. The exceedances is coming out.
I
of
know you were at the
testing.
planning board, Mr. Vaccaro, and you were sitting there when we approved the project.
I don't want to talk.
Okay?
You can
And all that
press
information was
yourself.
said at the
This
time.
is horrible.
Yeah, let me follow up. So, Tom O'Donnell, 33 N Street. This is a filter that lasted 3 weeks, okay? I've had this system in my house for 20 years. I change my filters twice a year when my water flow gets a little bit down. 3 weeks, I had almost no water in my house. You can see the sediment. I can bring in the filters that I have from earlier in the year. There's no discoloration on them. My water has changed since they started blasting. When we went up and with our concerns about them digging for the basements, there were some people on the planning board who says, oh, there's no basements in this project, which is, to me, is horrific. That means they're not reading the documents. To Mrs. Hand's point, I give her credit. She read the document. She got it late. We've gotten massive documents pretty late in the process. One of them delayed the planning board because the builder submitted their document like 24 hours earlier, okay? This is physical proof that our water has changed. Now, you may say it's irrelevant or erroneous or whatever. I'm calling BS. Our water has changed. I have a neighbor that's got mud water coming out of their faucets when they first turn them on. So that's one thing. We appreciate that you forced them to do testing. They did not test for over 20 years. Okay, that's water under the bridge, literally. But what about our health department and our environmental committee? They have to be aware of the new PFA regulations. Why didn't they tell you guys to add the PFA test to the new testing? It's the most concerning thing that they're testing for in water right now. It's a permanent stuff. We have an LSRP. I was shocked when he said it's the most carcinogenic material out there. But it's not in this new test that we're requiring them to do. So yes, you put a test in place. Yes, you're doing it beyond the last CO. But you're not testing for the most concerning chemicals that are potentially now in our water. And now you're fracturing the ground. Dirt that wasn't in my water is in my water now. What's in that dirt? What chemicals are in my water? That's the big heart of it. The other thing is, it was the water. Well, we've been focusing on the water, and, the blasting. That sign is 75 feet up their driveway. You don't see it from Hamilton Road. You guys did their whole, ooh, we're covered, they're gonna toot a horn. We never hear a pre-warning. We just sit there between 12 and 1, and for about 3 to 5 seconds, our animals go crazy, the house shakes, and it just reminds us that this is going in the water. And it's gonna be going on for months. Conveniently, nobody said that they're gonna be blasting. When we raised concerns about digging for basements, they knew they were blasting. And we sewered a whole community without blasting. All of Claremont was sewered without any blasting. Their experts said they're blasting because it's economics. Okay? It makes the project faster and cheaper. So you're potentially sacrificing our health so that a builder can make more profit. Priorities are backwards.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Good evening. My name is Thomas Burke. I'm at 1212 Millstone River Road in Hillsborough. I am the LSRP that they were referring to. I'm a licensed site remediation professional in New Jersey. I'm an environmental consultant. I've been an environmental consultant in New Jersey for the past 19 years. And I share the concerns with my neighbors about both the blasting and the concern for PFAS contamination. PFAS are widely prevalent. They're associated with chemicals that are used at golf courses. They've been found at golf courses. They've been found at Trump's golf course in Bedminster, and they're not being monitored for. And we fought to have them do monitoring at this golf course, and now, as Tom mentioned, our main concern, one of the most worst contaminants is not being tested for. So I would urge that the monitoring wells that are at the golf course be tested for PFAS. And then I'm also concerned about the fracking, or the blasting, which is essentially fracking the bedrock. My house is a little further than theirs houses, but my house still shakes. It's well over 1,000 feet from the blasting site. And so I am very concerned about our wells, about the increase in sediment in Tom's well, and yeah, I just want to voice my concerns, and that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members?
Hi, Susan Gulliford, Hunt Club Road. I think I forgot last time. Yeah, you figured that. I don't even have to spell it. I came in a little late because I was at another meeting, and you were discussing the street cop. Yeah, so I don't know if I missed part of your comments, but of course, the Hillsborough was on the list.
Of course.
That was published. So for our police department, I know street cop is embroiled in a lot of legal problems right now.
Right now.
Yeah, and I kind of just want to emphasize that it would be nice if our police department had to do any retraining, if there's any claims that can be made for retraining or for reimbursement for the initial courses they took. I just hope we're pressing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can assure you, not only do they follow state compliance with the AG at the time who mandated that course, they continue to train, certify, recertify every year, biannually. It just depends on what the course is and what it was. We can absolutely get you training records from the PD, and I'm sure those are operable as well, so that you can see each officer and what they've taken since that course.
Okay, it just seems it would be, I hate to say, fair for
we
our
can't
office,
not
for our
follow
police
state
department to
mandates
get something
either.
back if they could, you know.
Yeah.
They can use everything.
Sure.
Oh,
If you just could add, that none of our officers attended the training conference, that they deemed this big problem that everybody had to go to the training. We didn't send anyone to that conference. There was nobody there. A few officers
Good, thank you. Also,
This, want me to read it?
Yeah, why don't you read that? What,
should I?
we got something we can read.
So, for the record. Note for your own information, 14 different officers attended one-day classes prior to the report that were hosted by the group related to motor vehicle law, leadership of safety skills, what Chief McMahon was saying in the back off mic, and tactics. All officers have received numerous hours of refresher training on case law, de-escalation, use of force, etc., since that time, as also required by AG guidelines and police licensing.
Oh, okay, good, thank you. I just want to add one thing on the blasting over at Claremont. My husband was raised in that development. There's been blasting going. We have 3M up on the mountain, so blasting's been going on here for a long time. And okay, there may be things they're required to do, like set off a whistle or whatever it is, but sometimes it's a courtesy to let the neighbors and the township know when you're going to blast. It's maybe not required by law, but sometimes it's just the right thing to do, so.
There's also liability with that, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
So essentially, we asked for that blasting schedule, which was Monday to Friday between 12 and 3. So that's as weather permitting. So that's essentially what they tell us, which we told the group.
But not one warning sound has been raised.
I heard it.
You were there when you were there the day you were there.
I'm not there, Tom. So, but okay. You can raise that.
Yeah, we're good. Eric Eden, 5 Theodore Drive. I actually wasn't going to talk tonight. I just came to hear what was going on. And so I have 4 kids under the age of 8. I have an 8-year-old, 4-year-old, and 2-year-old twins. No one told me about what was going on as far as the drinking water and our well water. So I have a whole neighborhood full of young couples with young kids. And if I wasn't made aware by neighbors of what was going on, looking into what the PFAS does, developmental growth, liver failure, leading cause of cancer. I think overall, of everything that I'm hearing tonight, the community's just asking for help. That's really what it is. If you guys can somehow find a way to just help get the water tested and do what's best for the residents, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. We don't want to hear, well, we're testing for this. We said we did this in the past. We're telling you what's going on right now. I don't know the history of what's happening. I just know that I'm raising a family. I moved in 2 years ago. My arsenic levels were double. I had to put tanks in when I first moved in. 2 of my neighbors that just moved in had to do the same exact thing. I can only imagine what the other levels are. And then when I went back and looked at my tests, they didn't test for PFAS either when we moved in. So I can only imagine what those numbers are. So just to make a brief statement, because I said I wasn't prepared to even talk tonight, we're just asking for help. If there's any way that you guys can look into that and just figure out a way to do what's best for the community. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, I'd like to make a comment if I could.
Okay.
Just as a naturalist myself and a bit of a holistic person myself, did you know that if you wear a smartwatch from Fitbit, the watches that come with Fitbit, there's 2,000% over the allowable PFA in that band alone every day when you sweat. If you use, same. So if you use saran wrap, if you drink ever from a plastic bottle, if you heat anything in any kind of plastic, whether it's BPA free or not, there's PFAS. There's PFAS in your shampoo. There's hormone disruptors. PFAS are in everything. Our allowable drinking water, I can only imagine with, the issue that we just had from American Water and what our PFAS are in our water every day too. It is something that they test for, but to remediate and say that, okay, well, it's not in my water, it's in almost everything else, just as a parent and something like that. So I'm just kind of giving information all the way around. The PFAS are in everything. If you use plastic in your home, you're absolutely daily exposed to PFAS also.
So, Mayor, I'm sorry. So I have a question. Help me understand, what is PFAS? What is the cost for PFAS testing? Like, what are we talking here? Can you put this in in context for those of us not, like, I know what PFAS is, but I don't know what testing a home, what the cost would be. And the fact that we're testing, not we, the developers are testing for other things, not PFAS, just what's the deal here?
I don't know the answer.
We're not from the DEA.
No, I'm just
We have to
asking.
do
So
research on that.
I feel like we're saying no to something and we don't know the cost of it. So I just want to understand, like, for the residents,
Who said no?
what's the cost here? I think we
said
have.
no?
I'm sorry?
Who said no?
No, they have gotten no's from the planning board. So Committeeman LaPanne just got through saying that they weren't testing for PFAS, so that they've been given a no. Help us. Hello.
My name is Joseph Silvano. I live on 22 Hiker Drive, Hillsborough. And actually, I just want to go off of what you were saying, because that's honestly what I was thinking. I'm very new to this. So I don't want to say the wrong thing and get contradicted and say that I was wrong about something. But I am learning. These gentlemen are informing me, and I'm learning just hearing you guys talk. I obviously heard you speak a lot on it, and that's very informative to me. But like you were just mentioning, is there a reason, or I guess I can't ask questions, it's really new to me, but why are we against it? Like, is anyone here saying like we shouldn't be adding PFAS to the tests? I mean, is it a money issue? I mean, is it? Again, I'm just being very common sense about it. I'm trying to learn about it more than anything. I mean, I understand a Fitbit might have 2,000 more than anything, but I don't eat it or drink a Fitbit.
So that's the thing. We're not saying no. We're just saying it's not we're all at the same disposition of this as you are. We have to wait for DEA and things. We're not the DEA.
Okay.
That is a great DEA question.
Okay.
These are regulated by the state of New Jersey.
I mean,
And if
maybe-
the state of New Jersey is really the ones who are regulating this site, that you would want to get those answers from.
Okay, maybe the information I'm getting is not 100% accurate, but I'm told that the town is not trying to enforce the PFAS. Can the town can the health department try to enforce
That's a
the
great
PFAS?
question.
Is that something the town can try to do or try to enforce?
So I'm the health liaison, so I will answer.
sorry.
I know we're
Sorry,
not
sorry.
supposed to answer questions. I'm going to just say that I've already written a note. When I was writing during one of you speaking, I was taking a note. I will follow up with the health department for my own education to understand
Yeah, same thing.
what does PFAS testing cost by house. And look, I am in favor of the law is the minimum. So I understand that, there may be a minimum law from NJDEP. That's the minimum. So we're a community, and I think we would need to discuss and just understand what we should do to protect our community, regardless of what is, the bare minimum of
Awesome.
legal.
And I understand
So-
that it's in everything, and all rivers have it, and different things have it, but there is a change that's happening, right? I mean, I think we could all recognize that there is a change with the blast, and again, I'm no professional, but I think common sense should say that if you are blasting, there has to be some change. I mean, you have science experiments that'll show you how water filters through the land, and if you fracture that water bottle, it has to filter differently. Again, that's why it's just something new, and it is something new, and I would think that something is changing. It's not the same thing as 60 years ago. That's all.
Yeah, I would just recommend that both Committeewoman Hand and who's the chair of the Board of Health, and Committeeman Britting, who's the chair of Health Department, send a message to Mike Carr, environmental health specialist, who's been working on this for many years, and he would be the best, and see what we can do for the residents and where we are with that, and with the testing and what we're holding the developer to. I think that'd be the best place to start. And
I'm
obviously
already
copy me.
typing, and those people are on it, as well as Committeeman Britting, so we're good. Thank you very much. Very informative. Appreciated.
Okay.
Sorry, time's up, Joe. Smart man. Joseph P. Maloney, 27 Stonewick Drive, here in Hillsborough, New Jersey, for 36 years. God willing, another 36 years. Mr. Mayor, my concern is 2 meetings ago, you stated that the roads that would be paved in 2025, you had a list and you read it, which is fine, not against roads being paved. However, I would ask that you look at the components. I understand that it's an AI-generated program that you're using, that you look at the components of the algorithm that is part of the program that you're using to determine which roads are being paved. My concern is that we still have unpaved roads, partially paved roads, gravel and dirt roads, which brings up other concerns such as future costs to repair those roads. And my concern for commercial vehicles to travel on those roads today. At least one committeeman can remember when Homestead Road was all gravel and dirt, and now it is the subject of development. Now, the roads, I admit, the roads that I'm thinking of and have traveled recently are not well-traveled, and I understand that part of the program. However, times change, traffic patterns change, and also population changes. So I suggest that you take a look at the components of the algorithms, that the public gets involved with our Public Works Department, which has on their website, you can actually list the pothole that is on your street, and they do respond. They're very good at it. And finally, I would like to bring up that this is not a problem in my neighborhood, nor in most suburban Hillsborough neighborhoods. These are roads that are not frequently traveled. One comes to mind would be Montgomery Road going south from about a third of the way. And there are major potholes there. It's gravel, it's mud, and with the snow and also the rain in the winter, it will only get worse. So I would suggest that we take an inventory. I'm sure you do. I don't know the process. Take an inventory in the early spring and also in the late fall, and determine and put that somehow into the components which drive that algorithm that you're using in the software that you're using to determine which roads are going to be paved. Thank you.
Thank you. And clerical. Any other comments from the public for items not on the agenda?
We got your point.
So, I have a request. Dejas can get familiar with the well water testing act report. There's a 2-mile grid, Works in the middle of it, and it's the highest PFAS in the state.
Can you just send that to the mayor, please?
100%.
Thank you.
The next highest in the township is over by the Shannon Valley Golf Course.
The golf course is
21.4%. Golf course fertilizers have PFAs in it.
Yep.
Is there any way we can get a private meeting so we can just speak for 3 minutes so we could actually explain and
Can we,
get down to it?
can we talk after this, get through the meeting, then we'll have a conversation, okay?
All right. I guess, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Britting.
Yes.
Committeewoman Hand.
Yes.
Committeeman Pani.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Payne.
Yes.
Mayor Ciccarelli.
Yes. Time is 9:14. Do we have to bang the gavel?
Thank you.
Bang it.
It's not official unless you